Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this little gift. I'm getting ready to go to April on Stage, which is one of the two conventions that Stampin' Up! Has every year. I'm going to the one in Las Vegas early in April. I think it's the 7th. And so one of the things we do, and I've shared with you last fall, when I went to the convention in November, I shared with you the swaps that I got. Well, this is my 3D swap for this convention, and I thought I would just share with you what it is I'm making, how I'm doing it, and I'm using a different kind of tool this time. In order to do this, I got my Stamparatus in the mail, and I'm using the Stamparatus, and I can tell you that it is making, or going to make, this whole process of getting my swaps done pretty easily. So this is a very fast video tonight for me to show you what I'm doing. And what I am using is the Painted with Love Specialty Designer Series paper. This is beautiful paper. In fact, I did a paper share with those people that ordered with me last month, so lots of people got a share of this beautiful foiled paper. And right now the pattern that I'm using is this one, but I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to use all of the foiled pattern pieces in this suite to make my swaps. So let me tell you what it is I'm doing, and it's really pretty economical. These are cute little gifts that you can give as party favors, or this is even a start, if you want, on little gifts to give somebody for the holidays. And this paper is 4 inches by 6 inches. Now, these patterned papers come in 12 by 12. What that means is if I cut this at 4 inches and 4 inches, then I'm going to be able to get 6 of these little packets out of one piece of designer series paper. And that's pretty good, considering there's 12 pieces in a package. Times 6 means that I could get 36 packets made with one package of designer series paper. And that is a pretty good deal. All right, so let me tell you exactly what I did to make this. And here's another of them kind of started, but I'm going to bring in my trimmer so that I can show you exactly what it is I'm doing. I am setting this piece of paper here that is 6 inches long and putting it on the long side and moving all of my blades to the bottom here, and I'm going to set this at the 1/2 inch mark on this side of the trimming blade, and I'm going to score that at 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to score it again, now from this side, 2 3/4 of an inch, and score it at 2 3/4 of an inch. And that is all there is to that. This is a very simple little process, and as such, pretty easy to do. I'm using some Celebration ribbon here in this orange, which I think is perfect match for this. And I'm doing my sentiment stamping using this For You stamp. And I'll put the name of the stamp set up on the video for you right this minute. I don't remember which one it is. But this is very simple to do. What we're going to do is we're going to fold in the bottom of this first 1/2 inch score line and get that scored down. And then I'm going to fold in this piece on this side. And it makes like a little matchbook, if you will. And if this matchbook, if it were flat, I'd have to score it differently. But what I'm putting in there is going to make this bow a little bit, so it's going to fit under this lip perfectly. And what I'm doing is I'm using a, this is a retired and old Stampin' Up! Stapler. any old stapler will do. And what you want to do is catch this down here, you know, once on that side of the center and once on this side of the center, so that it creates that matchbook kind of thing, so that this flap will fit in here when we close this all up. Let me get that in there so you can see how that works. And then this front is bowed like this. And I suppose I could put another small piece in here, but I don't think I'm going to need it. What I'm using are these, I found these cute little things. They're a silicone card pocket. And they've got adhesive on the back, and these are the kinds of things that fit on the back of your cell phone case. And when you put it on the back of your cell phone case, then you can put, I've seen people put a credit card and a $20 bill and a key in there and just take their phone, and they've got everything they need. But at the very least, you can put a credit card in there, or you can put some cash, and then you're really pretty well organized. And I see a lot of people using these, and I think they're kind of cute. And so I nipped off the top, then tucked this piece in the back, because it was all about the math. I wanted to be able to get 6 of these out of a piece of designer series paper. So I'm going to stick my little carrier in here, and then I am going to fold this over and tuck it in here behind my little paper that's been stapled down. Okay, I should slide my bone folder under that and ease that along as I do it. And there I've got this. And before I finish this, what I'm going to do is put a couple of glue dots on the back of that little package so that it stays put. This one has been glue dotted in, so it's not going anyplace. Okay, so let me tell you what I did for the stamping. I got my Stamparatus in the mail, and I'm pretty excited about it. This is something that I think is going to make life so much easier, and so many of my customers and people who take my classes infinitely more successful, and they'll feel more successful. So let me show you what it is I did. And I got this idea. This wasn't my idea. I got this idea from Patty Bennett. And what she did was this. And I'll take this piece out. I'll just use my pierce tool here to pick this up. Now, the beauty of doing stamping this way is I was able to set my stamp on this side of the Stamparatus and get it absolutely dead straight. Then I stamped it on this piece of card. Then I cut out the piece, which is a piece like this. And then I cut out a whole bunch of those little circles. And the idea is now for mass production, or even doing 5 or 6 of these, this will fit back in here because it's an exact duplicate in exactly the same spot. My stamp is all set up, and here I've got my Momento ink, which I'm going to ink up my stamp here, close my Stamparatus, press down on my stamp, and there. Now see, I didn't get a perfect image on that, so this is the beauty of the Stamparatus. I'm going to re-ink that, and guess what? It's going to re-stamp it in exactly the same position. So there I have a perfectly stamped sentiment, and instead of stamping this and then going to the Big Shot and carefully setting it up and maybe getting it straight and not getting it straight, I have many, many, many of these things already cut out, and I can put them in here one after the other and do this on an assembly line kind of process. And there I go. I've got a perfect image again. Use my tool, pick it up, go again, and there I go. It's an assembly line process. And so my pieces that I need are already pre-cut, and there is no standing around trying to straighten things out or get them just exactly right. They're going to be done perfectly every time. And isn't that great? So I am going to now set that aside because I have what I need to finish mine. And then, and also in assembly line fashion, I have gone to my Big Shot and using my stitched, the second smallest, I think, of the stitched framelits, this one. And I've cut out a bunch of these stitched framelits. And all I have to do now is I'll be able to get all of these little kits done in just no time flat. Now this is a wonderful time-saving tool, and like I said, as a stamper you will be more routinely successful, and your customers and your team members will also be very successful with this process. So let's finish this little project. So I glued my sentiment on here, and then I am going to put that up on dimensionals. That in place right here in the center, and then I'm going to take a length of my ribbon here, and let's see, this is 4 inches, and so I need enough just to tie a faux bow, a little knot here. I'm going to cut this. I need about a foot in order to do this. And put a little bit of snail in the back, in the center, and then center my little Matchbook card here on that spot, and then come around the front and get a little knot tied. Maybe the smart thing to do would be leave the ribbon on the spool until you got your knot tied. And there we go. We have our knot tied, and I can adjust my ribbon here. And that way it hides those staples also on the back side of the little pouch. And there we go. I've got 2 of my swaps made very simply, and I think with the aid of the Stamparatus, this is going to be a project that's going to take me just an afternoon. And so I thought I would share that process with you as something simple. This also makes a lovely little hostess gift. You can put a little bar of chocolates in there. You can cut this to about any size you want. All you have to do is make sure that it folds over plus the 1/2 inch to cover whatever it is you want. And it makes, I think, a cute little 3D gift for someone. So that is my project for the day. I will be back later this week. I have more paper pumpkin alternatives. I have another mixed media card in my head, and I have other cards and projects. And so let's see. This is the tail end of Celebration. So in order to continue to get free gifts from Sale-A-Bration this month through the 31st is the last time you can get those. Free with an order of $50 is, there's so many things now because they've done a third release on things that are available through Sale-A-Bration. And so 30 things, 30 years. Interesting. Somebody pointed that out online within the last week. And so there are 30 items that you can choose from for free. And in the latest release, there's even some dies that are available for free. So if you get your order placed, you can, with an order of $50 or more, you get a free gift, and with orders of $100, you get the more elaborate gifts. And it's also the end of Sale-A-Bration is the end of the special deal for joining Stampin' Up. Now, if you join Stampin' Up by the end of the month, you get an extra 2 free stamp sets. And so it's $125 worth of product for $99, plus 2 free stamp sets of your choice out of either catalog. And the thing, if you decide that that doesn't work for you, joining after the end of the month is also actually a pretty good strategy for joining Stampin' Up. Because March is the end of a quarter, when April starts, once it's started and you join after the quarter has started, you don't have to meet your first minimum in that quarter. You meet it in your first full quarter. So that means that if you started, say, on April 5th, since you weren't here from the beginning of the quarter, you have April, May, June, then you have the first full quarter, which is July, August, and September. So you really get a 5 or 6 month runway to make that first minimum. So, and then your first minimum made during that time carries you through year end. So there's some strategy to this, and I help people figure out what's the best thing for them in how they join Stampin' Up. In any case, that's it for me today. I'll be back soon with more projects and more cards. See you soon. Bye.